Finally, after what seems like an eternity, we are ranking every DLC track in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 2 Booster Course Pass. We've been playing these tracks for months, which is why I believe it is time to truly see what track is good and what track falls just a little behind. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, and comment down below what your personal list is from worst to best. In last place, the worst Wave 2 track in my opinion has to be the newest added track in the Mario Kart series, Sky High SUNDAE. Honestly, besides seeing everyone's favorite dessert as the main theme, it's just not as fun to drive on. It's another glorified oval, which we already have enough in the base game. Besides the little shortcut in the end, the track doesn't offer a lot of diverse sections, and it's very difficult to catch up in. I also noticed that it can be very easy to sway off to the side and just fall off in the turning sections. I don't know why, but tricking over the little staircases while holding your drift can sometimes make you turn a little too much, and that shouldn't happen. Overall, this is a track that doesn't get picked often online, and, well, I can definitely see why. Up next, we have Mario Kart 7's Toad Circuit. Now, I don't think Toad Circuit is a bad track. It's just, why? Out of all of the really cool and unique Nitro courses the 3DS has to offer, Nintendo decided to bring back the first course in the game, the supposedly beginner-friendly one. And you know, since it is a beginner course, the layout isn't the most exciting. But I do appreciate Nintendo keeping the glider section and that shortcut in the end. Yeah, super rewarding because it's at least challenging enough to make it through with those pipes. But anyways, you'll be finishing this track so fast to even have a good opinion on it. And speaking of fast, here's Tour's New York Minute sitting at a comfortable number 6. For the first ever Tour track, New York was a very good choice. NYC is, well, just a very popular place to visit. However, as a place to race on, I've seen a lot better. My impressions of New York Minute are pretty much the same as how I felt when I first played it on tour. Everything starts to blend in together and is pretty unfun to play in 200cc due to some of the super tight turns. Now, I can't really blame the developers for this, cause, well, that's just how NYC actually is. But I've honestly always disliked congestion, which means I don't have the most fun driving due to the lack of space. And to add, why do some sections of the level not work properly? Like, what the heck? Why does this count as out of bounds? That definitely is a certified bruh moment. So yeah, I like the theme of the track and the Big Apple in general, but I'm just not the biggest fan of this layout. Sorry guys. At number 5, we have the better tour track in this wave, Sydney Sprint, or as chat describes it as, Sydney Marathon. And let me just say, boy is it such a real marathon to drive in this track. If you play this in 150cc though, you feel like it can take forever, so I feel like 200cc is almost a must to have the most fun. What I like about this track personally is how different each lap actually looks. Each one is pretty unique with different hazards in the way, with my personal favorite being the park section on the second lap. I will say though that the last lap does go by a little too quickly, especially since the item sets are far less and a little bit farther away from each other. But despite that, Sydney Sprint has a few cool shortcuts that's very unique compared to many on this list, but honestly I just feel like the top 4 is just a little better. Alright, so here we are, WALUIGI Pinball. Why do pinballs steal items now? 2 out of 10. JK. I think WALUIGI Pinball deserves to sit in the middle of this list. It's a bit overrated, but I don't think it's bland by any means. I mean, come on, you're literally driving inside a giant pinball machine that so happens to be owned by WALUIGI, who's a character lots of people love. Other than that, what I really dislike about this particular course is how there are no shortcut opportunities, and 200cc in this particular section is almost impossible, which just makes me wanna... But it's still one of the most charming tracks in the game. Every section of the track isn't boring because each part is constantly changing. I also really adore how the colors pop and the music. The music is very rave-like and electric, which is also a huge bonus. WALUIGI Pinball is truly a beautiful sight to see, which is what I believe is its strongest suit. Presentation at its finest. Hitting our top 3, we have what I believe is the most shocking track to make its return, GBA Snowland. While Snowland wasn't one of my favorite tracks in the original version, I fell in love with what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did with it. It's almost not recognizable compared to Super Circuits, but it's something I appreciate. I love how this track now has some depth, and the bridge section looks really nice to see whenever you're at the lowest section. The penguins are also super cute and can definitely cause some real havoc if you're not too careful. But I will say that sometimes the track can be a little too unrecognizable. I kind of miss the different alternative routes, and besides the penguins, there's not too many other hazards, like the random ponds you can fall in or the icy parts that you can slip on. You know, things that make the track spicy. But this shortcut and this shortcut's pretty cool to pull off, so definitely still a top 3 material. Winning the number 2 spot, we cannot forget Wii's Mushroom Gorge. This one. Now this one, guys, is a freaking bop. Who doesn't want to bounce on mushrooms, and who doesn't want to try to gap jump at the end every freaking lap? Even though I think it's really inconsistent compared to the originals. But yeah, Gorge is a course that does not get old, but like other tracks, I do have a few gripes on it. Why are there only 2 mushrooms here now? I feel like taking away that extra mushroom makes the left route almost obsolete to take since, well, you know, the removal of 1 shroom makes the regular route more viable. Also, even though the Wii version only has 2 boxes, like in the cave section if you take like the faster route, I kinda dislike how the clusters of them are now at the end of the cave. It makes it a lot harder to come back since the set is way too late. But overall, Mushroom Gorge is always a sight to see whenever I see it in the selection, and I almost always pick it. However, despite how good this track is, the one coming up is still one of my favorites of all time. And before we reveal it, make sure to leave a like if you are enjoying today's video, and subscribe if you want to see more Mario Kart ranking videos such as this. Anyways, here it is. And finally, at number 1, we have SNES Mario Circuit 3. Mario Circuit 3 fits the exact definition of if it's not broken, don't fix it. This track is super fun to play in, period. So many wacky turns and shortcuts to catch up in. It's always a constant adrenaline rush, and the music fits its battle-like atmosphere. Heck, it's even more fun when you kick it a notch and play it on 200cc. I feel like Mario Circuit 3 was meant to be played on 200cc because it's big enough to practice brake drifting, but challenging enough to try and get through some of its harder turns. It's a track that defines Mario Kart. It's skill-based, but also friendly enough where you can still make a solid comeback if you use your items right. While I'm disappointed about Mario Circuit 4 not getting picked since, well, it's never been remade, I'm happy to say that Nintendo didn't make a bad decision with bringing this one back instead. Thank you all so much for watching today's ranking video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this list, and feel free to comment down below other Mario Kart rankings that I can do in the near future. Anyways, I'ma head out. Peace out, fam.